Hi. Can I borrow you for 2 minutes? Real quick interview, I guess.
Oh, sure.
So we did a Foxy TV 6 years ago, and it was titled 3 installs before 2 p.m.
Oh.
And it followed our week. And
what an accomplishment.
yes, well, looking back now, it's like, well, that's kind of every day.
Today is a big day, big week actually, but we've got 3 installs today, and the third, the way that we've scheduled it was not too hectic, but over the weekend we found that the timing for the photos for the third job today have been moved to 2 o'clock, which means we need to have 3 installs done by before 2 o'clock today. So.
On a Monday 6 years ago, you did a partial install and you were selecting for the next day.
Yep.
What does a Monday look like for you now?
This Monday, out of all the Mondays you could have chosen, was actually my daughter's 4th birthday. So it looked like lots of presents this morning. But a normal Monday for me, a normal everyday for me, I don't actually start work until 9 o'clock now. So I do school drop off every morning and I don't start at the warehouse till 9. I do pick up a couple phone calls through the morning just if the boys are having issues with loading the trucks. This morning I did take 2 phone calls, 1 dirty sofa and 1 missing piece of furniture that they couldn't find. Came into work at 9, gave someone a pay rise, and I've just now at 10:11 opened my laptop. I don't work very hard.
And what does the rest of the day look like?
Conversations with staff, making sure, I guess, consistency. For now, it's gone from an operational standpoint to more of a people standpoint. So actually went from an operational standpoint to a logistics point to now a people point. So we've got people in to obviously do all the operation side of things. We've got a team of stylists, team of logistics. My day isn't spent doing selections anymore. I will do it when I miss it and I would like to do it. I jump in. I'll jump in if I want to do some extra training with the girls, but that's very selective. It only happens when I'd like it to. Logistics now is when there's a problem and they need a really quick solution. I can look at the schedule from yesterday and I can remember the schedule, whereas everybody else would have to refresh their memory on what's going on and where everything is. So I'm a very quick, easy question answer type scenario there, but that now is predominantly looked after by Cassie, being the operations manager, which now sits me having the people part of things. So the conversations, the feedback, the development with everybody, making sure that we have the support, and I guess that's what we're working on now, the business strategy support to allow Jake and I then to think about ideas and ways we can bring business in and growth business growth ideas and all of those, fun team culture based stuff as well, not the day to day. We are now trying to be looking ahead next 3 months, next year, next 3 years. So that's where our days sort of sit.
In the video 6 years ago, you guys had a team meeting and the topics were getting Russ a notepad and individually running through...
We put that on Foxy TV?
Yeah. Individually running through each install for the week and what the plan was.
Oh, yep, we used to do that.
What do team meetings look like now, and if we ran through the install?
So I guess that would be like a team huddle, like a team huddle. Logistics still do that every single morning, a team huddle. The stylists have shifted to a written huddle, a written rundown of the day. That gets posted every morning at 6 a.m. The girls, if they choose to, they can prep and plan their day of it while they're eating their breakfast. It's actually their preferred way of having it done. If that's not how they would like to operate, they can have it there ready for them as they walk in the door. So there is no waiting for everybody to assemble and everybody to get organized. They have a plan to be able to tackle the day. Now, if they choose to tackle their day early and run with it, and they get it all done and they want to leave early, then we're on board with that because they've got all their prep and everything done and ready. So it's giving them the flexibility on how they'd like to operate their day. So that's how those, I guess, information meetings have shifted. They're far more valuable if we do them that way. Otherwise, there's too much chit chat. Now we do weekly meetings. So we do every Wednesday we do a meeting and it changes. So we do 2 team meetings on every second Wednesday, and in between that we do a leadership meeting, and then every 4th Wednesday we do a team specific training. So the stylists split from the logistics, and then the media and admin sort of just tag along where they would like to. And we do role play training, we do floor plan training. The guys go through and learn how to clean the couches. It's all very team specific as to not just what Jake or I would like to see trained in those moments, but also what those team leaders would like to train.
6 years ago, your day looked like you loaded a truck with Russ in the morning, and then you were on the truck for 3 installs that day.
Okay.
Firstly, can you tell us what your day would consist of today, or of a usual Monday?
Okay, so I'd say, look, obviously now my day is chop and change. Probably the most common day is I will try and get into work by 7 o'clock. That's when all the logistics and warehouse guys start. In the past, I probably did it a lot earlier. I'd get in closer to 6, get everything prepped and help the guys solve any of the issues. But now we've got a very capable team. They know what they're doing. So I like to get here at about 7, just so I'm part of the team huddle in the mornings. I kind of walk around, do a little bit of training, help where I need to, but they don't need me here anymore. It's just I like being part of that. Most of the time I don't go out anymore. So I spend my time solving problems. So I'll take phone calls if I need to, if there's things that go wrong during the day. 6 trucks on the road most of the time. So there's always little issues or things that come up. Even then, a lot of those now go to the senior team, like Cassie, Russ, Fletcher, so I'm less involved in that. So a lot of what I'm doing is in the background. It's more, I have some involvement in the marketing where I need to. We're trying to get some podcasting happening. I'm also looking at solving other problems. So I can't even give you specifics because every day is a little bit different. And then I guess on top of that, there's a bit of strategy and other bigger picture stuff that we're talking about. So depending on the day, I'll also spend some time on that.
During this week, 6 years ago, we hit our record houses out, which was 43. What's the current record? And what are we at now?
Yeah, 43 houses. And at the time that was, to put it into context, we had 1 truck back then. So 1 truck, 3 jobs in a single day. That we very rarely have a truck do 3 jobs in a day now. 3 installs, sorry. We'll do 3 jobs, but that includes some packups. 3 installs in one day means a reload somewhere in the middle, and it is quite difficult to schedule that and make it work. So I'm gonna have to go back and watch it because I'm impressed at that. Let me clarify. I'm impressed at the scheduling and the way that we're able to do that in a day time-wise. Yeah, so the record now, from memory, and this is the numbers guys should know, it was 292, I think it was, 293 or 292, which happened in late October, early November last year. So obviously on a completely different scale now, in terms of furniture, in terms of logistics, moving parts, all the things that go with that. But at the time, 1 truck capable of getting up to 43 houses out, that was, it was an impressive feat at the time.
6 years ago, your day was lead stylist on 1 install and then selections in the afternoon.
Yep.
Can you tell us what your day consists of now, 6 years ago?
It is very different now. I'm operations manager now, so I'm no longer doing the installs myself necessarily, unless we have, team members that are unavailable, that kind of thing. So I'm more so managing the day. So any little hiccups or anything that come up, I manage those. I speak to clients throughout the day. I organise the schedule, the run, make sure that the stylists are all okay and that everyone's running on track.
Tuesday morning here. Just figuring out my day, doing a bit of prep. I've got a few things on today that are probably a little different than what I would normally do. One of them is we've got a podcast that we are recording today with one of our top agents. We're probably up to about number 5 or 6 at this point. So yeah, this is a new thing that we're doing marketing wise. It's a really good chance for us to build relationships or strong relationships with people that we already work with, but it's also really good for marketing content. Both the podcast, we film it, we turn it into little videos, clips, reels. So that's what I'm doing right now, is prepping that. I've already prepped it. I'm just going through the questions that I had and making sure I'm happy. I've actually got some other things today, some one-on-ones that I'm trying to do with some of the teams. So it's another part of what I do, and what Phoebe does at this stage is a lot of people-related things. Other than that, I will be waiting for phone calls to see what I am needed to do, what problems need fixing.
It comes down to the presentation, which is where you guys come in. So yes, I'm a serious control freak. So they always say you lead from the top. So when we do our proposal to clients, we obviously suggest the presentation has to be up to scratch. When your presentation's up to scratch, more than half my job's done already.
So it's Wednesday. We do a team meeting of some type every Wednesday. So this week it's a full team meeting. We had that this morning, and that runs through till 9:30. We focused on the element of pack-ups as far as the steps of someone's hire agreement with us, to make sure that doesn't matter who's on site for a hire for a pack-up, that it's done to the same standard and same level, regardless of whether it's a stylist or a removalist by themselves. It's always done perfectly. And for the best team engagement, I gave out Easter eggs, and it works a treat. So the rest of my day today, I have a sick child. So I'll be working from home today, and I am really focusing on Arctic and driving the Arctic side of our business forward, trying to get some more jobs locked in. All right, so it is Thursday, the 2nd of April. We are a short week this week. We have Good Friday tomorrow, so it's the Teams Friday. So jumping on now, yesterday we did an install over on Primrose Street in Sherwood. It was a little 3-bedroom unit. It's a bit different. It actually has 2 living areas. So a unit having 2 living spaces is something obviously we really want to capitalize on and really show the potential of that to buyers. Now, this one's a little bit different. I'm talking about it so I had a phone call from the stylist on site. And her worry was that she just didn't feel that the dining table was big enough. We'd sent a dining table with a 1 meter diameter, glass top, want to obviously make it feel nice and open. Now that was her main concern. I agreed, we switched it up to a 1.2 meter round dining table. A small change, but has a very, very big impact in that property, because you go from feeling like it's an excuse for a dining setting to it actually being an intentional dining setting. Now, when Chanel panned the room, I saw the sofa that we had sent. Now we talk about how we won't leave a property unless we are proud of the end result. So part of that is the styling team. Obviously we have the senior stylists who do our furniture selections, the styling team then do the installation, and then it all still gets reconfirmed that we're happy with the end result, because those layers of check are incredibly important to make sure that our standards are met. So we've done that pan, and the sofa didn't work for me. So we've gone with a really slimline black sofa, and the space was quite dark. I felt like it was just playing too much into the dark characters of the home. I also felt that the slimline nature of that sofa was too slim for the space, and it was really taking away from the opportunity to present that room in its entirety. So we sent a truck out. We started a truck out with a different cream 3-seater sofa. It was a beautiful James Lane piece. It's now gone into the property, and I truly believe that the changeover from the black to the cream has really made that room pop and made the end result feel that much more welcoming for a new buyer.
So this is a short week, 4 days. So we've got 23 installs this week, have done / finishing today, and 31 pack-ups it looks like. So 53 total. That would be a little over half of what we would normally do in a 5-day busy week. So not only are we 1 day short, but this week's actually a little bit quieter than we would normally have. Partly because of leading into Easter is always a little bit quieter before the week before. Next week we are reasonably busy because we're, again, 4-day week, but everybody wants to list just after Easter weekend so that they're not wasting an open home.
Can you tell us what was one of the biggest issues or problems you had to deal with this week?
I probably, my brain doesn't work that way. I have a hard time remembering stuff like that, because to me we fix a problem and we move on, and if there was something major, that would probably stick out to me. Like broken down trucks or things like that cause a big issue for more than just 1 day. We didn't have anything like that. We have minor things throughout the week where we have something get damaged furniture on site that we have to figure out a replacement. Cassie does a lot of that sort of stuff. So most of the issues we have, to me, they're not big issues enough to remember. We fix them, we move on, we get on to the next day. So yeah.
All right, so the reason why I don't have something to be able to give as the biggest problem to solve. Yesterday, we arrived at a property in Sherwood. Stylist walked in, the carpets are all wet. Not a little bit wet, they're a whole lot wet. They are super, super wet. They got cleaned the day before, and they didn't have any sort of drying mechanism on them, so they were super wet. Now, in the past, that stylist would have called me and I would have had to problem solve. I would have had to figure it out, talk to the owner, talk to the agent, find out where photos are, all of those things. But we're really focusing on creating a solutions-orientated environment and team members that fit that mold perfectly. So Ellie called me. She called me with a problem, but 3 solutions to that problem that she'd already spoken through, knew the photos were at tomorrow at 2 o'clock, knew that we only had X number of installs with a drop-off, knew we could fit it into our schedule, checked to make sure that was going to work okay for access in the morning with the client, and also had ticked to make sure there was somewhere in the home when we could offload the furniture that wasn't carpet. She called me with a solution, and literally my only need there was to say, sure, done, love it. So we are really trying to drive that environment forward. Same thing happened the day before. The boys forgot to load a bed base and a dining table. Even the sofa switch out that I spoke about, that I created that problem because I want it to be perfect. I went out to Ricky and I said, this is what I want. And he was like, all right, there's no tolls, let's go. It's just 7 minutes away, I can make it happen. So that problem solving element to my role is becoming less and less as we sort of give that level of responsibility and pride to our more senior people in our team. And that's really what we're trying to drive forward at the moment. But that solutions-focused practice is happening regardless of what layer someone is in our business.
In contrast, what is something you would like to celebrate or that you're proud of?
I'm incredibly proud that the team operated so well while we were away in China. Everything was we could only dream of the point of when we go away and our input is literally 20 minutes in a day. So, and that's where we were at, and they did so well. But our consultation team and the amount of quotes that they have put out this month. So we've done 336 quotes this month. And that is incredible. It's our biggest quoting month ever. And the girls have been phenomenal at that. On top of 336 quotes, 75% of those were sent within 24 hours of us being on site or having received the quote request. So that is incredible and a very passionate, driven behaviour from the team. I think that deserves a really big shout out.
I mean, this is the one that jumps to mind. We have our training programs in-house, both in the logistics and the styling side of things. We had somebody progress for the first time through our advanced off-sider training, and it's a reasonably new program that we've put in place with those guys. So the first person to tick all the boxes, pass all the tests that we do, makes it sound very rigorous. We don't do a lot of tests, but it's just a way to make sure that they've learned all the things they need to learn to be an advanced off-sider. So that's probably the one that jumps out at me.